What if I told you that at this exact instant, a force resides deep within you that is so unbelievably powerful it can rejuvenate your physical health, skyrocket your financial status, heal your broken relationships, and completely rewrite your future? This isn't some distant dream. It's accessible right now. Yet the vast majority of people walk through their entire lives without ever tapping into this treasure trove. It's not because it's a closely guarded secret, or because it's only meant for the genetically gifted or the incredibly lucky.
It's simply because nobody ever handed them the user manual. Welcome back to the Horizon Mindset Channel, your go-to space where ancient wisdom is upgraded for your daily life. Today, we are taking a deep dive into an absolute masterpiece focused on human potential. This particular book has quietly revolutionized millions of lives across the globe since its initial release. We are breaking down The Miracle Power of Your Mind by the iconic Dr. Joseph Murphy. Now, Joseph Murphy wasn't some modern internet guru selling empty hype. He was a brilliant philosopher, a doctor of divinity, and a scholar who dedicated over half a century to mapping out the inner workings of the human subconscious. What he uncovered and documented in this classic will fundamentally shatter everything you thought you knew about reality. So, if you're currently facing hardships, if you feel completely stuck in a rut, or if you've tried every self-help trick in the book with zero results, I need you to lock in and stay with me until the very end. By the time this video wraps up, you will possess a genuinely life-altering toolkit. And to truly bridge the gap between just watching a video and getting real-world results, you need the complete blueprint in your hands. I've dropped a link to the original book in the description below, so you can grab the exact strategies and advanced insights that we couldn't fit into this summary. Let's get started. Before we unpack the core teachings, let me give you a quick roadmap of our session today, so you know exactly what to expect over the next 30 minutes. We are going to explore the 6 foundational pillars of Joseph Murphy's philosophy. The dual nature of mind. Demystifying the conscious and subconscious minds, and why most people get this dynamic completely backwards. The law of belief. Why your deeply held beliefs aren't just random opinions. They are absolute commands your subconscious executes blindly. The miracle of self-healing. How your subconscious mind actively orchestrates physical recovery, backed by Murphy's real-world case studies. The wealth consciousness. The internal financial blueprint that regulates the flow of abundance into your life and how to recalibrate it. The science of prayer and visualization. Murphy's exact step-by-step formula for embedding your deepest desires into your inner mind. Erasing negative programming. How hidden fears, heavy guilt, and old resentments sabotage your progress, and the exact routine to dissolve them forever. For every single section, I'll provide the core concept straight from Murphy's work, translate it into modern, easy-to-understand English, and back it up with a practical, real-life scenario. This isn't just abstract theory. It's a practical guide you can implement immediately. If any of this speaks to you during the video, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. It truly helps the algorithm push this video to someone who desperately needs to see it. And if you're new around here, hit subscribe because we drop content like this every single week. Now, let's open up the text.
Part 1. The Dual Nature of Mind. Joseph Murphy introduces his book with a concept so straightforward it's easily overlooked. He posits that you possess two distinct minds. First, there is the conscious mind. This is the logical voice you're listening to right now, the part that reads, critiques, and decides what to order for dinner. It's your rational, analytical, waking awareness. On the flip side lies the subconscious mind. Murphy illustrates the subconscious as an incredibly vast, ultra-fertile garden that is infinitely deep, endlessly capable, and entirely non-judgmental. It never debates you. It never cross-examines your directives. It merely accepts whatever seeds you plant and brings them to life. As Murphy famously notes, the subconscious acts like soil that will cultivate any seed you drop into it, whether it's a toxic weed or a beautiful flower. It doesn't discriminate. It just produces what it's given. This is precisely where the majority of people stumble. They erroneously believe that their fleeting conscious thoughts are what dictate their reality. They tell themselves, if I just think a few positive thoughts, my life will change. But Murphy argues that this is only half the story, and honestly, it's the weaker half. While the conscious mind acts as the security guard at the gate, the subconscious is the actual power plant. Unfortunately, most individuals are operating a massive power plant they've never once inspected. It's cluttered with outdated programming, childhood fears, and negative scripts planted decades ago. Yet they wonder why they keep repeating the exact same life cycles.
The iceberg analogy. Visualize your mind as a massive iceberg drifting in the ocean. The small tip peeking above the waterline represents your conscious mind. It's visible, logical, and easy to direct. However, the massive 90% of that iceberg hidden beneath the dark water represents your subconscious. It is this unseen 90% that is actually steering the entire ship of your destiny.
Sarah's story. Take the example of Sarah, who desperately wanted to launch a thriving business. She devoured every business book, attended every seminar, and built flawless strategies. Yet, every single time she was on the verge of a major breakthrough, things would fall apart. She would self-sabotage or unconsciously drive high-paying clients away, leaving her utterly baffled. It wasn't until she excavated her subconscious belief system that she discovered the culprit. As a young child, she had internalized phrases like, "money corrupts people," and "wealthy people are miserable." Her subconscious was simply being loyal to those childhood programs, actively protecting her from becoming someone she was taught to look down on. The moment she began retraining her subconscious, using Murphy's specialized exercises, her entire business model clicked. It wasn't because the external market changed overnight. It was because her internal framework changed first. This is the cornerstone of Murphy's philosophy. You aren't a victim of your environment. More often than not, you are the output of your subconscious data. The incredible news is that you have the power to rewrite that data. Part 2. The Law of Belief. One of the most revolutionary concepts in Joseph Murphy's work is this:
It isn't the specific wording of your prayer that brings results. It is the absolute conviction you hold while processing it. He defines this as the law of belief. Murphy explains that a belief is far more than a passive mental stance. It is an active force, a literal blueprint. When you believe something down to your very core, your nervous system, your daily behavior, your worldview, and even the synchronicities that manifest in your life align perfectly to validate that belief as an absolute truth. Dr. Murphy emphasizes that whatever you internalize with raw emotion and certainty becomes your tangible reality. The law of belief is the absolute master law governing your psychology. However, Murphy clarifies a major misconception here. He isn't preaching toxic positivity or wishful thinking. He isn't talking about chanting empty affirmations while a cynical voice in the back of your brain says, "Who are you kidding?" He is referring to the core paradigms that run beneath the surface, the deep assumptions you don't even question because you mistake them for objective facts. Thoughts like, "I'm just not wired for math. I always get sick during flu season. Opportunities like that are for other people. Wealth just slips through my fingers." According to Murphy, these aren't just casual observations. They are operational commands. And your subconscious, ever obedient and limitlessly powerful, will alter reality just to prove you right. How beliefs form. Murphy explains that your inner mind is highly impressionable during two specific windows: when you are in a state of profound relaxation, and during the early years of childhood. This explains why the things we observed and heard before the age of 7 carry such immense weight in our adulthood. We didn't consciously select those ideas. We absorbed them like a sponge. Sadly, most adults have been running their lives on that outdated childhood software ever since.
The student who flunked math. Consider a college student named James, who was convinced he was awful at mathematics. This belief stemmed all the way back to the 3rd grade, when an impatient teacher mocked his performance in front of the classroom. That isolated event planted a deep seed. For the next 15 years, every poor test score simply reinforced that identity. Once James discovered Murphy's law of belief, he initiated a simple nighttime routine. Right before drifting off to sleep, he would calmly and emotionally repeat, "Mathematics is natural to me. My mind effortlessly understands structures and patterns." He didn't force it with tension. He just gently suggested it during the hypnagogic state, that magical, drowsy window between waking life and sleep that Murphy identifies as the ultimate portal to the subconscious. Within a single semester, his grades skyrocketed. It wasn't because his IQ changed, but because he gave his subconscious mind a brand new operational command to execute. The takeaway here is both humbling and deeply empowering. Your current life is an exact mirror of your subconscious belief system. And since those beliefs can be unlearned, your entire life can be redirected starting tonight. Part 3. The Miracle of Self-Healing. Now we come to one of the most mesmerizing chapters of the book, a topic Murphy explores with a blend of rational observation and profound awe. He poses the ultimate question: can the subconscious mind truly trigger
physical healing within the human body. His answer, backed by numerous medical case studies, historical archives, and decades of personal counseling, is an absolute yes.
Now, let's be entirely clear. Murphy never advises abandoning modern medicine, nor is he selling magical illusions. What he is highlighting is that the mind and body aren't two separate entities. They form one interconnected network. Your subconscious mind, which flawlessly regulates every involuntary function of your body, from your heartbeat to cellular regeneration, possesses an intrinsic healing intelligence that most of us have never been trained to activate. The restorative presence lives right inside you. The life force within you is constantly striving to express itself through absolute harmony, vitality, and peace. Murphy refers to this as the healing presence, an innate, self-correcting wisdom built into our biology that performs miracles when it isn't blocked by fear, anxiety, or stress.
The case of the arthritic patient. In his writings, Murphy chronicles individuals dealing with severe chronic ailments who experienced incredible, lasting recoveries after systematically aligning their minds through focused visualization. One notable account involves a man completely immobilized by severe arthritis who was told his condition was permanent. Applying Murphy's strategy, he would lie down completely relaxed every single night, take deep, rhythmic breaths, and repeat with genuine feeling. My inner mind understands exactly how to restore my body. Every cell in my anatomy is becoming vibrant, healthy, and whole. Over several months, he reported a progressive, undeniable recovery. Murphy points out that this isn't supernatural magic. It is simply the deliberate activation of the mind-body connection rather than leaving it on autopilot. Whether you fully adopt Murphy's terminology or look at it through a modern lens, the field of psychoneuroimmunology, the clinical studies on how meditation lowers inflammation, and the undeniable link between chronic stress and illness all point to the exact same truth. Your mind is a primary shareholder in your physical health, and it's time we learned how to use it constructively. Part 4. Wealth Consciousness. Let's talk about money, and let's get real about it, the way Joseph Murphy does. We aren't talking about surface-level tactics like budgeting or career pivots, but the deep subconscious layer where your financial identity was forged. Murphy introduces a paradigm called prosperity consciousness. This is the realization that financial abundance isn't a byproduct of pure luck, elite education, or perfect timing. It is entirely dictated by your internal mental blueprint.
Think of your subconscious mind as housing a psychological financial thermostat. It has a default set point, a specific dollar amount that feels safe and normal to your deeper mind based on childhood conditioning. Here is the frustrating reality. No matter how many hours you log or what business strategies you deploy, if your internal thermostat is calibrated to financial struggle, you will unconsciously engineer situations to drag yourself back down to that familiar zone, much like an AC unit cools a room back down to its set temperature. Wealth is fundamentally a state of mind, just as poverty is a state of mind. Prosperity must manifest as a thought pattern before it can materialize in your bank account. Murphy highlights the exact subconscious blockers that halt financial flow. Deep-seated guilt about out-earning your peers, an underlying belief that money is morally corrupting, or a lingering sense of unworthiness. Recalibrating this internal thermostat
isn't about staring at vision boards or obsessing over numbers. It's about shifting your identity. Murphy suggests fostering a profound, genuine sense of appreciation for what you currently possess, because gratitude matches the frequency of abundance. A mind fixated on scarcity will naturally magnetize more lack, while a mind genuinely saturated with appreciation naturally spots and attracts golden opportunities.
Part 5. The Science of Prayer and Visualization. We have arrived at what is widely considered the absolute heart of Joseph Murphy's philosophy, the art of scientific prayer. Murphy doesn't view prayer as desperate begging, nor does he define it as mindlessly reciting verses to a distant deity while secretly doubting it will work. He views prayer as a precise, repeatable psychological technique designed to imprint a specific outcome onto the subconscious mind, which then works around the clock to manifest that outcome. He calls this the thankful prayer method, and it relies on 3 non-negotiable steps.
Deep relaxation. You cannot program the subconscious while your conscious mind is hyperactive, skeptical, or analytical. You must first quiet the surface waters. Lie down, slow your breathing, and let your body sink into a heavy, tranquil state. This relaxation is your portal.
Emotionally charged visualization. Once you are deeply relaxed, hold a vivid, crystal clear mental image of your desire as an accomplished fact. Do not view it as a future wish. Experience it as a present reality. See it, feel it, engage your senses, and most importantly, attach genuine emotion to it. Whether that's immense joy, profound relief, or deep gratitude. That emotion serves as the carrier wave driving the image deep into your inner software.
Complete release and trust. Once you have dropped the seed into the soil, let it go entirely. Murphy emphasizes that obsessively checking on it or worrying about the timeline is the equivalent of digging up a seed to see if it's growing. It destroys the process. The aspiring author. Consider the story of a young writer who spent 3 agonizing years pitching her manuscript, receiving nothing but rejection slips. Heartbroken and exhausted, she adopted Murphy's approach. Every single night, before falling asleep, she relaxed her body completely and vividly imagined holding the physical copy of her published book. She imagined the texture of the cover, the scent of the pages, and her name printed boldly on the spine. She allowed herself to feel a massive wave of pride and relief. Then she would take a deep breath and let it go. Within 5 short months, an unexpected introduction led her to an editor through a highly improbable chain of events. Half a year later, she signed a major publishing deal. Was it a lucky coincidence? Murphy would argue that coincidence is merely the subconscious mind navigating pathways your conscious mind could never map out. Your only job is to provide a clear blueprint. Your subconscious will handle the logistics.
Part 6. Erasing Negative Programming. Before we conclude, we must address an issue that Murphy dedicates an entire portion of his work to, and it's something almost everyone watching this video needs to hear. You can practice visualization every day
and chant affirmations until you're blue in the face. But if you are harboring deep-seated fear, chronic guilt, or heavy resentment, Murphy warns that you are trying to drive a car with the emergency brake pulled all the way up. Those negative patterns will neutralize your positive efforts every single time.
Fear. Murphy defines fear as faith in reverse, a profound conviction in a negative outcome. Because the subconscious acts on whatever data is prioritized, chronic worry is one of the most destructive forces you can feed it. The remedy isn't to violently fight the fear, but to displace it by filling your mind so completely with its positive equivalent that the fear is starved of attention.
Guilt. This is perhaps the most toxic blocker. Murphy notes that guilt-ridden individuals unconsciously crave punishment. They make self-destructive choices and repel success because they don't believe they earn it. His solution is radical self-forgiveness, a deep, authentic release of past errors, realizing you are no longer the same person who made those choices. You have evolved, you have learned, and you are free.
Resentment. Consider the cycle of individuals who consistently self-destruct professionally or romantically, moving from one toxic job or relationship to another. In almost every scenario, Murphy traced this sabotage back to a paralyzing fear of failure, unresolved guilt, or deep-seated resentment toward a parent, an ex-partner, or an old boss. The turnaround always begins with a firm decision to forgive and let go, clearing the inner soil to plant something beautiful. Murphy's release formula is elegantly simple. I completely and freely release name/situation. I forgive you entirely. I am free and you are free. All is well. Conclusion. We have traveled an incredible distance together today, moving from the dual nature of your mind to the universal law of belief, the inner mechanics of physical healing, the creation of a prosperity consciousness, the practical science of visualization, and the absolute liberation that comes from dissolving fear, guilt, and resentment. Joseph Murphy didn't write this masterpiece to hand you a collection of abstract theories. He designed it as an actionable operational manual because he witnessed firsthand across thousands of lives that when a human being aligns their conscious intention with their subconscious execution, miracles become standard. Here is my final thought for you today. You are not a finished product, and your current environment does not dictate your destiny. The programming running your life right now was likely written by external sources, past teachers, childhood dynamics, or old heartbreaks, and you've just been living out their script. Starting tonight, you get to hold the pen. Right before you drift off to sleep, in that quiet, magical space between awareness and dreams, plant a brand new seed. Plant something grand, something true, and something worthy of the person you are becoming. If this video brought value to your life, please share it with someone who needs an awakening. Leave a comment below telling me which of these 6 pillars hit home for you the most. I personally read through the comments, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. We have a full playlist of deep dive breakdowns right here on the channel. And if you want to grab a copy of Dr. Murphy's book, the link is right below in the description box. Your next breakthrough is just a click away. Until next time, keep cultivating beautiful seeds in that magnificent mind of yours.